بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. We are continuing in Surah Al-Baqarah and we almost finished the ayat of Qital and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was giving us the guidance on a path and also the way and the guidance to protect that path as well. Okay, the protection of the path with the rules and regulations and the do's and don'ts of the warfare and so forth. Now, there's only one ayah left in that, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will talk to us about again what they asked. They who are the companions radiallahu anhum, they will be asking also questions, and we'll see the answers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. Again, the questions, not questioning things, but they wanted to know details of what they are doing, and they wanted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them more guidance in it. So they did not want any action that they have, that they are doing, except according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. تفضل أخونا إبراهيم.
يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون في الدنيا والآخرة ويسألونك عن اليتامى قل إصلاح لهم خير وإن تخالطوهم فإخوانكم والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم إن الله عزيز حكيم.
جزاك الله خيرا.
Surely those who have believed, immigrated and struggled in the way of Allah, they can hope for Allah's mercy, and Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. They ask you about intoxicants and gambling. Say there is great evil in both, as well as some benefits for people, but the evil outweigh the benefits. They ask you, O Prophet, what they should donate. Say whatever you can spare. There's how Allah makes His revelations clear to you, so perhaps you may relent, you may reflect upon this world and the hereafter. And they ask you concerning orphans.
Yes, we did.
They you concerning
the orphans.
say improving their conditions is best. And if you partner with them, they are bonded with you in faith. And Allah knows who intends harm and who intends good. Had Allah willed, He could have made it difficult for you. Surely Allah is Almighty, all-wise.
نعم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. These ayat, they are ayat that show us the character of the companions and the believers and how they were eager to do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking them to do, and they were new in this way of guidance. The Quran did not come all of it at once. It was coming little by little. So they had a life that they used to live. They had customs that they used to have. They have, things that they are doing in their lives used to. So they were eager to adjust to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given them from guidance. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them guidance, they are eager to follow and also asking for more guidance. Especially when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hints about something and does not become clear in it. And this happens sometimes in the Quran. In here, we'll go to Al-Khamr and we will the intoxicant and reflect on it a little bit. But here, first Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the companions, okay, that they have hopes in the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hopes that they will receive the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَهَاجَرُوا وَجَاهَدُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أُولَٰئِكَ يَرُجُّونَ رَحْمَةَ اللَّهِ. Okay? وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. That those who did so, believe, made hijrah, and made jihad in the way of Allah, they are now the one that is, they are hoping for the mercy of Allah. Okay? They are yarjuna, they are working for something. In other words, the hope, okay, it is not coming from people who are sitting down. Okay? Not coming from people who are passive. But at the same time, their work does not guarantee the reward. They understand that. This is a balance. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, if you do A, B, C, you will be rewarded Jannah. So you do A, B, C, and then say, now give me Jannah, ya Allah. No. Okay, you are doing what Allah asks and hoping that Allah will accept. That is part of who we are. Okay, there is no guarantee. Okay? You do the work and you make dua that Allah will accept this work. You make dua that your sincerity is purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you. So you do not do the work and think that you paid for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. No. Because you know that what Allah has given you so much and you will never ever be able to pay for it. Never be able to be thankful enough for what you're receiving. So even though they believe and then they left everything behind, hajaru, they left their lives behind them, okay, and responded to the hijrah, the command with hijrah, and they went to Medina. But then when they went to Medina, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed now that they hold the sword. They didn't hold the sword before. It was not commanded, but now it is commanded, and they did not hesitate. And they took the sword and they protected Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the deen and so forth. Okay? Now all of this work, it is not easy to make these decisions. So you hardly can say that a person who does that have mix in their intention, right? But no, it's still not guaranteed. يرجون رحمة الله والله غفور رحيم. Allah, the most forgiving and the most merciful. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about what they are asking again. Okay, the companions asking about clarification. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر. Okay, they ask you about intoxicant and gambling. Khamr here, what is khimar? Khimar is we know that women put khimar over their head. So the word itself, it is to cover, has the meaning of covering. Okay, so khamr meaning intoxicant, not necessarily means only alcohol, because sometimes it's translated to alcohol. Only alcohol. No, it is khamr, whatever causes this way of covering what? The intellect, the ability to think, the ability to make decision. Okay, all of these are haram. Okay, but why they are asking? Because there are many things that happened, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hinted to it that it is not, it's not good. Okay. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, do not pray while you are intoxicated, right? So intoxicant, now it's opposite of something that is prevent you from praying here. And salah is what the deen is built on here now. The 5 pillars, the salah is the one that it has to be the most important, because it never is allowed, one is not allowed to skip it, period. Okay, there is always a way to pray. The zakah, maybe if you're poor, you do not do it. You do not pay zakah. If you are sick or traveling, maybe you should not fast. If you cannot afford it, you do not go to Hajj. But salah, there is nothing to say if you are in such a condition, then you do not have to pray. No, there is no such a thing. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them, now that which is very important, you should not be in a state of intoxicant while you are doing this. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them that in the grapes and dates and so forth, you have sakar in it. Sakar meaning to be intoxicated, to be drunk, drunkenness in it. Okay? Wa rizqun kareem. And a rizq that is a beautiful rizq, nice rizq. Another word, what we're comparing to nice and good with what? What is not good, right? So, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not cut it off, but the hint was there. Okay, so now they wanted finally to make a decision for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put a final decision in this. And there are many stories about when this verse happened, after what event. Okay, an event happened because of some companions did something that was really outrageous when they were drunk. Then it was the time. Now that's enough of this. Now it is this ayat. Ayat eventually came. So this is from the ayat of saying it was taking them gradually to this. Okay, taking them gradually to this. And the issue, one of the events that when two camels, they were, slaughtered and killed, if you will. And it was not designed for that, it was a gift. And it was, I think it was Hamza and two companions came out and as they were drunk and they slaughtered the camels that were supposed to be some gifts and so forth for Ali radiallahu anhu and Fatima radiallahu anha. Okay, so that came eventually. The ayat came that it is al-khamru wal-maisir khalas is rijzum min amal ash-shaytani fajtanibuh. It is rijz from the work of shaitan, so stay away from it. It is done. It's filth from the work of shaitan. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not quite, but said it clearly, but did not, say it is haram. Okay. يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر. Okay, they ask you about khamr, intoxicant, and gambling. قل فيهما إثم كبير. Say in it there is إثم كبير ومنافع للناس and benefit for people. Sometimes we translate this in a wrong way. Sometimes they say it has, harms and benefits. But really, and I used to say that, but that was not an accurate translation. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say it has harm and benefit. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ithm, sins. It has sins in it, not harms. Okay? Another word, a harm could be from something halal, right? Meaning a harm that if you eat too much, that's harmful. But when you're eating halal, and eating is halal, right? But when you say ithm, that is harm, but in a way of sin as well. And ithm here, it indicates that there is a penalty. Okay? There is a penalty for this. وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. And their ithm, their sin is more than their benefit. Okay? So that moved the heart of the companions, okay, and moved their eagerness, an ithm, and we are doing it now. You can imagine somebody going and trying, like, okay, I'm going to drink, but now I'm doing an ithm, okay. So it came to close to the edge now of before the ayat that came and says this is haram, okay, and then. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا يُنْفِقُونَ. Remember, about a page before they ask the same question. And they ask you about what to spend. Okay? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer them. قُلِ الْعَفْوِ. Okay? قُلِ الْعَفْوِ, say the extra. The extra. Meaning the extra of what you absolutely need. Okay? So you take from that af and you spend. And on the page before, Allah told us what to spend on, who to spend on. But now tell you from what to spend. Okay? And it's an attitude that the believer should have. An attitude of what you have, it belongs to Allah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted you with it. You do not deserve this, or you did not earn this, and you was not clever enough to accomplish this. It is given by Allah. Okay? So, yarhamukallah. So if it is given by Allah to you, now you want to spend it according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you of guidance. Right? Something you did not have. And then you were given. So the obvious thing is to say, okay, you have given me this, Ya Allah. What do you want me to do with it? I know I need to eat. I know that I need a place to stay. Okay? And so forth. But now there's more of this, of what you're giving me, Allah. So now this is extra here. What am I going to do with it? Okay? Or when they ask something that is obvious, okay? Something that is obvious, which is you spend from what is left over, right? That's obvious. But when you ask about the obvious like that, that means you want to do more, or you are very careful. You're very careful. Okay? You don't want to spend in any way, or shape, or form that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dislike. Okay? And the ayah next is similar. Okay? قُلِ الْعَفْوَ. This is an ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given you so you might reach, in a way of understanding here. This ayat. Okay? And this ayat is for you to understand. Okay? Meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, I'm giving you hints here. Okay? I'm giving you hints. So you understand what I love and what I dislike and so forth. Right? So if I told you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in other words, saying, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Okay? Okay, so you might be thinking and pondering here. في الدنيا والآخرة. In this dunya and in the hereafter. Okay? So if I tell you has ithm in it, now I hate this. So you should stop now without me saying it is haram. Okay? Now, I'm telling you, spend from the extra. Okay? So think about this. The extra. So what are you going to do before the extra? Are you going to take from what Allah has given you and make that which is not a dire need to a need, or make that which is a need to a want, and that which is not a want, but you put it under the category of want, and you spend everything, you say, I do not have anything extra, right? In other words, there are things that is a dire need, and there is a things that are a need, and there are things that are a want, and then there are now extra things that you not absolutely need, you don't want. Okay, but you put it. You can put it in the category of what you want. Okay. But now you might be going into the category of extravagance. That is, Allah does not love extravagance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say things very clearly here, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dealing with us in a way of I love you, I care for you, and you love me, and I'm telling you what I like and what I don't like. So I'm hinting for you here, and you should be running into this hint, right? Another word, you are believers. So I am asking you, okay, from the way of a loving way, okay? Not in a way of a fard, a compulsion here, okay? Of forcing. I'm not forcing. I'm just dealing with you in a way of a loving way. Okay. Now the companions were so eager to follow, and the issue with yatama, with orphans, they were very careful with it, and they were afraid to transgress what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. Okay, and the limits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in. After all, if you eat the wealth of yatama, if you are taking care of an orphan, as if you're eating hellfire, a fire in your stomach. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it. So the companions were afraid. And that fear prevented them from mixing with al-yatama. So, and the yatama needs people that are close to them because they do not have a father, right? So now that caused a problem. So يسألونك عن اليتامى. They ask you about the orphans, and they ask about this point. What to do? Should we mix with them? Should we stay away from them? Because we're afraid that if we mix with them, we're going to take from what they have. Yes, ya Allah allowed us to take from what they have. If we are the one who is taking care of them, we can eat with them and so forth. But now we're afraid that I ate, I'm full now, but I want this bite of food. Okay, I want it. I do not need it. Okay, so to me this is an extravagant now. Okay, should I take it or not? And if I take it, would you? So they made it difficult for themselves. Make it difficult for themselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. To do good for them is good. Another word, they want closeness. They want to be near to them. People near to them. They want a father. They want a family because they do not have one. Go ahead, mix with them. Okay? وَإِن تُخَالِطُهُمْ فَإِخْوَانُكُمْ. And if you mix with them, they are your brothers. Okay? You are your brothers. It's okay. Okay? وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ الْمُفْسِدُ مِنَ الْمُصْلِحِ. Allah knows the one who causing harm and the one who's causing goodness. The one who's causing problems and the one who actually causing good. So that extra bite, okay, if you're taking it so he will not eat it and you take it, Allah knows that. But if you're taking it because you want it and there's plenty of bites that's left and enjoying the companionship and all of this, Allah knows that. So don't burden yourself. Do not torture yourself. Okay? قُلْ إِصْلَاحٌ لَهُمْ خَيْرٌ. والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes, will make it difficult upon you. Okay? So take it easy. Right? Relax here. Okay? As you are doing the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't be tense. Okay? But within this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us the sensitivity of a believer. The sensitivity of the fear of transgressing on the line where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala draws. And it shows the love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for us and telling us just take it easy. Do not be so tense here. Okay? Because don't forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's happening within you. Okay? Yes. So if you mean well and you mean to not to transgress, it is okay. Go ahead and relax and be kind. Okay? And this kindness is appreciated for those who are in need and so forth. Okay? Because it is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking you to do. And it's things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to stay away from. Strike the balance there, okay, with a good intention. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make it difficult for you. If Allah want to make it difficult for you, Allah will. Okay? But if you have goodness in your heart, you want to do the right thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make it difficult on you. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Please, if you'd like to make any comments, inshallah. How long do we have? I'm sorry? 14 minutes. 14? Oh, 14 minutes. Okay.